one thing that we want to think about is choosing the appropriate unit. So as I said before, when you have a small measurement, you're not going to use a very large unit to measure that. So we want to be sure that we are able to choose the appropriate unit for the things that we're measuring. So I want you to look at this chart. You may want to pause the video now and try this yourself and then test yourself and see if you can choose the appropriate unit of measure, either US or metric, for these different quantities that are on the left side of the chart here. So if you want, you can pause the video and then come back to it. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk you through this. So for the distance between two cities in the US system, we would use miles. In the metric system, we would use kilometers. Because it is a large distance. We don't want to measure it in inches, right? Or centimeters. We would get a huge number. So we want to use the appropriate unit. For the height of a person, we usually use feet and inches. We could also just use inches. In the metric system, we might want to use meters or centimeters. To measure the height of a person. The weight of a person in the US system, we would use pounds. I don't know why it's abbreviated LBS. Maybe somebody wants to find that out, but that is the abbreviation for pounds in the US system. We might also use ounces, but generally just pounds for the weight of a person, unless it's a baby. Sometimes we use ounces for babies or small children. For the metric system, we'll probably use kilograms for a person's weight. The height of a high-rise building, we'll probably use feet. Maybe miles? No, probably not. They're probably not that tall. But we'll probably use feet. Oh, we may use yards. How many yards tall is a high rise? I don't know. But in the metric system, I would guess we'll use meters. Probably not kilometers, maybe. The height of a mountain peak, we will definitely use feet or miles, depending on how tall the mountain is, and definitely kilometers for that. The depth of the ocean would be in miles, could be in feet as well, but probably miles. And kilometers. The area of a football field. Now here, area, we haven't talked about this yet, but area is going to be measured in square units. So we'll probably measure that in square yards. Here we'll probably use square kilometers. I sometimes notate that as like with an exponent, kilometers squared or yards squared. We'll talk about that more as we get into calculating area. Capacity of a milk bottle. We might use a quart. We might use a gallon or a half gallon. For the metric system, we would use liters. Size of a paper. Size of a paper, we might use, usually we say 8 by 10, an 8 by 10 inch paper. So there I gave it away. We'll probably use inches. We might use inches squared if we want to find the area of the paper. Here we'll probably use centimeters or centimeters squared. Time taken to complete a 100-meter race, we'll probably use seconds. And in the metric system, we still use seconds. And the time taken to travel between two cities by car, we'll probably use miles per hour. And here we would probably use meters or kilometers per hour. So notice that we're in time, we're also including the distance there as well as a ratio. So we'll talk more about that as we proceed in our measurement unit.